To them, he is enigmatic, formidable, and almost mythical, much like the legendary 18th century sorcerer, Gor Mahia.
Vijana mko tayari? Mko tayari?
True to his depiction, the one certainty about Raila AMOLLO Odinga is his unpredictability.
I am sure even Ruto is just crossing his fingers.
Tumesema mpaka Kenya inuke.
His defining trait is an unyielding resilience. No matter the odds, he refuses to be counted out. A political daredevil, he masterfully executes complex maneuvers at the very brink of collapse, defying expectations and reinventing himself just when a dramatic downfall seems inevitable.
NASA is a movement for the liberation of the people of Kenya from political oppression, from economic backwardness.
Born in 1945, Raila Odinga was destined for politics.
Tunataka kubadilisha Kenya.
He recently marked his 80th birthday with an impressive 55 years spent navigating the turbulent waters of Kenyan politics.
Raila has established a political enterprise that is unmatchable in this country, Enoch.
His journey traces back to October 1969 when his father's detention under Jomo Kenyatta's government abruptly propelled his into high-stakes decision-making at the tender age of 24. Raila has long emerged from his father's shadow, carving out his own path with conviction. A leader in his own right, he independently makes his decisions and boldly guides his supporters.
Wakenya wamesema wanataka mambo ambayo imeenda tenge ibadilishwe.
The essence of what we do is in the name of our company. It is called Live and Study in Europe. We provide the widest range of immigration and education services in Eastern Europe. We have a wide range of customers from all over the world. We'll have people who want to come from Asian and African countries to Poland and work and continue to live there.
Hello everyone. Yeah, I'm Irene. I am so excited to record this video today because I just received my visa. I am a Kenyan citizen. I received my visa with the help of Live and Study in Europe, and I am so happy. I am so happy.
First, I'm giving thanks to God and all the team to Live and Study in Europe, especially the electoral, the Bluey for assisting me with the all required documents which were being needed during the visa process. And finally, I just received my visa, as you can just see here.
Here it is. So, I would like to thank Mr. Arap, the CEO of Live and Study in Europe, and his team for taking me through the whole process up until now.
From the ancient times, people were dreaming about moving someplace else where they think their life is going to be better. A century ago, for example, it was much easier to do that. Now, it's getting more complicated every day. What we do is we help people to achieve their dreams. Over the years, we had a lot of happy customers who are very satisfied with our work, but you don't have to take my word for it. Go to our website and YouTube channel where we have loads of video testimonials of our customers.
Whatever they promise the date, we need the date at the same time. So I respect to everyone, especially RR, I'm getting the visa from them to helping me. Because before that, I am go to many of agency. They are also cheating by the money everyone.
Wamenipatia mimi ile armband ile ya captain.
Raila AMOLLO Odinga is an epitome of democracy in this country.
In the ever-evolving landscape of Kenyan politics, few names command as much deep respect and controversy as Raila Odinga.
Raila AMOLLO Odinga Tosha.
There was an element of surprise that Kenyans were ready to embrace him to that point and to that level. Especially after the Pentagon embraced him.
Whatever they promise the date,
A statesman, a reformist, and a political enigma.
We think that we will arrive at an acceptable solution.
Hatukubali lakini tunaheshimu. Tunaheshimu.
For more than 30 years in Kenyan politics, he stands as a colossus, a towering figure whose influence has left an indelible mark on the nation's political scene.
He simply stood up, walked into his car, went away.
His Nigerian biographer, Babafemi Badejo, described him as a person in Kenya's political landscape. His Luo community shares this sentiment, dubbing him Agwambo, a figure of unpredictable nature that remains difficult to decipher. To them, he is enigmatic, formidable, and almost mythical, much like the legendary 18th century sorcerer, Gor Mahia.
If your work sprawls across multiple apps, you need ClickUp.
Yeah, you do. ClickUp is the AI-powered work platform that unifies your entire team and all your tools together in one place. No, not like that. No. It's a single place for your projects and docs, whiteboards and dashboards, calendars and chat. So your work goes from scattered
Wamenipatia mimi ile armband ile ya captain.
Raila AMOLLO Odinga is an epitome of democracy in this country.
In the ever-evolving landscape of Kenyan politics, few names command as much deep respect and controversy as Raila Odinga.
Raila AMOLLO Odinga Tosha.
There was an element of surprise that Kenyans were ready to embrace him to that point and to that level. Especially after the Pentagon embraced him.
A statesman, a reformist, and a political enigma.
We think that we will arrive at an acceptable solution.
Hatukubali lakini tunaheshimu. Tunaheshimu.
For more than 30 years in Kenyan politics, he stands as a colossus, a towering figure whose influence has left an indelible mark on the nation's political scene.
He simply stood up, walked into his car, went away.
His Nigerian biographer, Babafemi Badejo, described him as a person in Kenya's political landscape. His Luo community shares this sentiment, dubbing him Agwambo, a figure of unpredictable nature that remains difficult to decipher. To them, he is enigmatic, formidable, and almost mythical, much like the legendary 18th century sorcerer, Gor Mahia.
Vijana mko tayari? Mko tayari?
True to his depiction, the one certainty about Raila Amollo Odinga is his unpredictability.
I am sure even Ruto is just crossing his fingers.
Tumesema mpaka Kenya inuke.
His defining trait is an unyielding resilience. No matter the odds, he refuses to be counted out. A political daredevil, he masterfully executes complex maneuvers at the very brink of collapse, defying expectations and reinventing himself just when a dramatic downfall seems inevitable.
NASA is a movement for the liberation of the people of Kenya from political oppression, from economic backwardness.
Born in 1945, Raila Odinga was destined for politics.
Tunataka kubadilisha Kenya.
He recently marked his 80th birthday with an impressive 55 years spent navigating the turbulent waters of Kenyan politics.
Raila has established a political enterprise that is unmatchable in this country, Enoch.
His journey traces back to October 1969, when his father's detention under Jomo Kenyatta's government abruptly propelled him into high-stakes decision-making at the tender age of 24. Raila has long emerged from his father's shadow, carving out his own path with conviction. A leader in his own right, he independently makes his decisions and boldly guides his supporters.
Wakenya wamesema wanataka mambo ambayo imeenda tenge ibadilishwe.
I will shake the hand of my rivals and pay the political price if I have to. I will shake their hand if I win, and I will shake their hand if I don't.
If you look at Raila Odinga's accolades and the resilience, if you trace Raila's history from 1970s, you will always trace Raila's name and presence in Kenyan struggle for democratic space.
On the political battlefield, his influence is undeniable, commanding a following that few in Kenya or even across Africa can rival.
Because I love Kenya more than I love Raila Amollo Odinga.
The son of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, Kenya's first vice president, he was exposed early to the struggles of leadership and opposition. But his path will not be easy. From a young age, Raila exhibited exceptional sharpness that set him apart, naturally positioning himself as a commanding force among the Odinga siblings. His quick wit and assertive nature often saw him outmaneuvering his older brother, effortlessly stepping into the role of family captain. His instinct for leadership extended beyond the household, shaping his national political journey. Wherever he goes, he strives to lead, and more often than not, he succeeds. In the 1980s, Raila's defiant stance against Daniel Arap Moi's one-party state led to his arrest and detention without trial for nearly a decade. His experiences in the dungeons of Nyayo House fueled his commitment to multi-party democracy. In the wake of the infamous August 1982 coup attempt, Raila Odinga found himself accused of involvement, facing treason charges and enduring 6 years of detention under President Moi's regime. A 2006 biography published as Raila prepared for his 2007 presidential bid suggested that his role in the failed uprising was more significant than he had publicly acknowledged. Raila Odinga became so synonymous with the so-called Kenya's second liberation. His journey was marked by imprisonment for treason between 1982 and 1988, a period when the struggle for political change was at its height.
And there were many people involved, lawyers, engineers, church people of all denominations, and politicians.
We were ready to challenge the government because we had seen dictatorships collapse in the Soviet Union.
Though released in June 1989, he found himself back behind bars in July 1990 alongside Kenneth Matiba and Charles Rubia for demanding the reintroduction of multi-party democracy.
The moment Matiba announced that the meeting at Kamukunji will go on with or without a license, we became marked and they started following us.
In my offices, you know, because I used to carry out, I used to have legal practice. You would have, I'll be working and a policeman is standing in my office or sitting at the door, you know, grab the chair and sat on the door. Not talking, just telling you continue with your work. And they stood there watching every little movement that one was making. So it was not an easy time.
I was arrested on the 4th, I think the same day that Matiba was arrested. I had gone to State House Primary School to pick my children, and I noticed the cars that were following. There was, standard 1, I think, and 2. And I remember me telling them I jotted down the number plates of the cars that was following me. And I was living in Gomo Estate. I told them that mark those cars and if we don't get home, whoever it is, just give them the details of the car because I was sure I was going to be arrested. So I drove with these people following me to Gomo Estate. They surrounded the estate. It was not my first arrest. It must have been the 10th, 15th. So I had this sweater always at the ready just in case they come. So I wore it, and I opened the door, and when they saw me, of course, they were very angry. So they threw me in the back of a Peugeot 504, and as I remember, they stopped on the road and really beat me up. They were very angry because I had kept them, I had hidden, and I'd got all this media, that had recorded my arrest. So they really beat me up. And then took me to Nairobi area, traffic headquarters. I never knew there were cells there. But below there are cells. And that's when I learned that Matiba had been there.
I understood I was at committee. That I knew I was at committee prison. But I did not know where Matiba was. You are kept ignorant. And it's what they call, you are excommunicated completely by darkness. You don't even know what day it is. What causes solitary confinement is very dangerous, punishing you mentally. You even lose time.
But around midnight, I would say midnight, between midnight and 1 a.m., I was put in a Volkswagen Kombi, a blue one. They opened and then you are told to lie, behind the driver, along in the middle, but on the floor. And of course they would go stepping and singing and taunting you. And the ones who carried me was singing this song, Kanya Gai Chia. Really by the time they did the rounds, I didn't know which rounds. I had almost passed out and I was bleeding. But eventually we stopped. Of course, at that time I was blindfolded and I was completely prepared for death because I couldn't see another possibility of the kind of beatings you received, including on the head. I thought they were definitely not going to release me. So I came to terms and I started thinking about death, and I thought about death many times during that time because I'd been in prison for more than 2 years before. And I'd read books on how to prepare for detention.
Tumejumuika, tuko watu wa kutosha, tutaenda Uhuru Park sasa vile litangazwa.
We decided that we had to go Kamkunji. First of all, to give people courage, because at that time, to appear in a rally which had been declared illegal, and with that kind of security detail mounted to ensure that people don't take part in the meeting, we were sure, that, a lot of leaders will not turn up or many people will not turn up. But yet, out there, people who were clamoring, they'd come out. Tear gas was being thrown and hurled everywhere. So we said, we cannot let the people down. And we said, okay, well, let's get into this pickup. And as we went, because we know the grounds at the Kamkunji had been occupied by the police. So as we went through the Kaloleni, Bama, Majengo, California area, we said, we must see the people, show the people that we had actually gotten into the area, if not to Kamkunji itself. But all of us knew we were going to be arrested. We were sure we were going to end up in a prison or a police cell.
Many people died. Prisons had new inmates. The court had new clans to be tried and jailed hastily by willing judges. Foreign missions had new applications from asylum seekers keen to escape and live to fight another day. Upon his release in June 1991, fearing for his safety, he sought refuge in Norway. The flame of liberation was lit, and Moi and Kanu realized that change was inevitable.
Moi called up a conference at KICC. He called it Kanu National Conference to decide on the constitution. Right? And he had a field day. So he allowed them to speak. A very clever man. He allowed people to ventilate. What do you think? Should we change? Should we not change? He allowed them to ventilate. So he listened to everybody. He now said, I have heard you. I now also want to make my own statement.
A day before the day, Franklin Bate, then Moi's most trusted Deputy State House Controller, was given a delicate duty to perform. He was asked to prepare 2 speeches, one outlining the importance of retaining Section 2A in the Constitution,